Hello everyone and welcome to another Transformers review with me, Ferris. And this is the second of my reviews for the R.E.D or Robot Enhanced Design figures. As usual, we'll take a look at the packaging, and again, I do like the packaging of these. You've got a really nice image of G1 Megatron down here in the left hand corner. Like I said with the Prime one, though, this probably isn't great for mint in box collectors because you do lose quite a bit of the figure's lower half there. So if you are a mint in box collector, then this might irritate you slightly. I'm not. I'm going to take him out anyway, so I will. I'm not too bothered. But that is a rather nice piece of artwork. Like I said on the Prime one, I don't really understand this, like, you know, the paint flaking off of the character. I don't really understand the significance of this. So I'm not really sure why that is there. But anyway, go around to the back, so we get the usual product shot. So he's holding an Energon cube. Nice. So looks good, looks really nice, and there's all these warnings and whatnot down the bottom. And then around this side. Oh, I hadn't noticed. He does actually have. I have looked at these. Honestly, I did look at them, but I didn't notice that he had this whole Energon cube in a hand thing. I didn't notice the hand was attached. Okay, that's quite fun. So yeah, we'll take a closer look at these in a minute anyway when we take him out of the box. Usual stuff on the bottom, some Transformers on the top. Yes, it's nicely packaged. I do like the packaging. But because I'm not a minting card collector, I'm going to crack it open and we're going to do that together now. So let's get rid of that bit of tape. Pop this open. So the accessories come in a separate piece of plastic there, and then the figure in that there. And then I did quite like this on the Prime one. This little piece of like schematic on the back. I do like that. That's quite fun. So you got that, and you got a few bits down there with his hands and the Energon flail and everything. So yeah. And then you get a similar one. Well, it's basically just a continuation of that larger piece. So I shall keep those for my scrapbook, but we're not really interested in those, are we? No, we're not. So, okay, let's have a look. Let's pop these pieces out, see what we get. Let's get that flail out. Some hands. Energon cube there. Get rid of that bit of plastic. And he does have this little plastic tie thing. Hold on, let me find a place I can get it without cutting the actual figure. Okay. I mean, I don't really know why they're bothering with that, because I mean that's not coming out of there anyway, so I don't know why they're bothering to do that. So that's that. So there's Megatron. We'll come back to him. I'll have a proper look at him in a minute. Let's move there we go. That's a bit better. Right, let's have a look. Right, we'll do the accessories first. So obviously it has this Energon flail, and it is a flail because it's on a chain. A mace is on a stick, like, you know, like a handle, a long sort of metal handle. A flail is on a chain, so that's quite good. Yeah, but again, like Prime, they always seem to have one of these. I never use, because they just used it at that fight at the Sherman Dam, and then I don't believe we saw it again. I think we saw it briefly in the movie, didn't we? And then we didn't see it again. So yeah, but I mean, I guess if people like it. So hands. What have we got? Hands. We've got one left hand in a fist. Okay. We have one left hand pointing. Right. Is that the same? Looks to be the same sort of sculpt as the Prime one. Yeah, that looks like it's the same sculpt, just reversed. Okay, let's see where the cost cutting's coming in then. So there's that. And then we have one partially open. What is that? That's another left hand. Is that the same? No, it's similar, but it's not exactly the same. Okay, looks a bit chunkier on Megatron. So there's that, and then there's this Energon cube holding hand, which I am absolutely going to be using. That's pretty cool. Although it's a bit of a shame that they've done this here. So instead of having the seams on the bottom, it's on the top. That's a bit of a shame. And there's some overspray of the hand as well, which is it's not very good. I mean, I could probably get rid of that myself, but yeah, that's not great. Sort of takes the effect away a little bit. Almost looks like his hand is melting into the cube. Okay, alright then. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that is all moulded in that translucent purple, and then they've just painted over the hand. Yeah. Alright, so that's the bits and pieces, the accessories. So let's have a look at Megatron himself. Oh, he's got some heavy eyeliner going on there, hasn't he? He's getting ready for a Friday night out. Yeah, okay, alright. I mean, it looks like Megatron, you know. It's definitely G1 Megatron. He's got that same sort of odd feel to the plastic and this unpleasant sort of mould release that seems to be on here. It's I feel like they could have cleaned these up a little bit better before they were packaged. But never mind, the sculpt work is quite nice. All the bits you expect Megatron to have, he has. So yeah, he's got his fusion cannon there. Although, oh, that is not good. That's warped. That's really badly warped. Come on, focus. Doesn't want to focus now. It's so warped the camera doesn't want to look at it. Oh, that's really bad. That is really bad. Why on earth did they put it in a mould so that the sprue mark would be on the top of the cannon and not the underside? Or can that be rotated? No, I don't think it's going to rotate. It's probably glued on the inside. I'll have to have a look at that, but that's not good. I don't like that at all. You know, these were like 20 quid each. As for some reason, Capel put the price up when they relisted them. The only one that was at the original sort of $17.95 price was the Soundwave figure. So, okay, all right. Well, that's a bit of a disappointment, but let's carry on. It does have this nice metal flake finish in the legs. That's quite nice. And the feet is Megatron feet. So, yeah. Swirling in the side again like we had on the Prime figure. See, this is fine because the sprue marks are on the back and I'm not gonna see those, but that is really bad. I'm really not impressed by that at all. But the rest of the sculpting seems okay. Seems pretty sharp. It's quite a firm piece of plastic, that's harder plastic than the rest. So, okay, well, it's, yeah. I'll do what I did with Prime. I'll take him away, I'll have a proper look at him, and then we'll come back and I'll run down the articulation, do a comparison with another figure, and then we'll do some final thoughts. So I'll be right back. Right, so I've had a chance to have a little play around with Megatron. I'm of two minds, to be honest. Right, first let's address this problem of the fusion cannon. I did manage to take it off. It's not stuck on, it's not held on or anything, and I thought, oh fantastic, I can just flip that. No, I can't, because how well you'll be able to see this, but there's a cut just here, so you've basically got like a sort of a quarter moon thing going on, and then it's the same on the inside of the barrel. So for me to flip that upside down, I'm going to have to trim this down. I don't actually have a problem with doing that. It's not going to be a difficult procedure. I will do it and then flip this over, because this is my biggest issue with this particular figure. I think this is unacceptable. This level of warpage, I suppose you'd call it. I can't focus in on it again. Come on, you little monkey. There we go. That should not have been allowed to get past QC. No, this is unacceptable. For this price of figure, 20 quid for this figure. And you've got that. I mean, you can see how warped it is. So, yeah, that's my biggest issue with this figure. My other issue is the amount of eyeliner he's wearing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for a bit of eyeliner, but jeez, what's going on with that? And similar to what I said with Prime, with the muted colours, I do feel like his grey plastic is a shade or two too light. I think it could be slightly darker. So I would have liked to have seen that. Also, the moulding and painting of the Decepticon symbol on his chest is poor at best. This is not very good quality. Like I say, for the price of the figure, if I was paying 10, 12, 13 quid for this, these are all things I'd go, oh well, you know, I'm only paying 10, 12, 13 quid for it. But for a figure that costs £20 and doesn't transform, this kind of QC, and especially this I could overlook, this I cannot overlook for that price. It is unacceptable. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's take a look at his articulation, which is okay, but again, you know, Hasbro make Marvel Legends. It really wouldn't have been that difficult to transfer the skills from Marvel Legends over to these figures. Okay, so his head is on a double ball joint, so it's ball jointed at the neck there and up inside the bucket head, so you get a decent range of movement there. So you can do that sort of front to back kind of thing. So he's got that. The arms go all the way around and they will move upwards, and he can bash himself in the head with his own shoulder. So yeah, and again, like they did with Prime, they've not really bothered with any engineering here. They've just cut a chunk out so it does that, which again, I just don't understand the choices. The elbow is on a single joint. And again, that could have very easily been a double joint. I don't know why they didn't. The hands rotate at the wrist, and they do have this inward and outward motion, but you can't really use it because the fists are recessed into the lower arms. So that really sort of, it makes that articulation point completely pointless. Actually, does he? Oh, I thought for a minute he had a bicep crunch, because that... Oh, he does! Oh, right, okay, not a bicep crunch. An ab crunch. He does have an ab crunch. Okay, I don't think the Prime had that. I'll have to double check. So, okay, that's an unexpected range of movement. I didn't realise that was there. I've only just noticed that. It does rotate at the waist. You can kick the legs out to the side. Now, the side skirts here make it look like the legs kick out further, because if you bring that up, it looks like you can get it to that far, but you can't. It just sort of goes parallel to that. So that's as far as it'll go there. You barely go out to the front. A little bit further to the back. There is a tiny amount of movement at the ball joint at the hip there, but it is almost negligible. Does have a rotation joint at his thigh. He does have a double jointed knee, which I am very pleased to see, but again would have liked that for the elbow. And then he does have a foot joint, so he can point his toe all the way down, and he can go up quite a way. And it is on a tilt, but just like Prime, you don't really get that much out of it. It actually goes more that way than that way, which is ridiculous. But yeah, and it does rotate slightly. But again, see, with Prime as well, you know, you've got all this bit here which sort of just gets in the way of those articulation joints. So he is moderately articulated. Like I say, Hasbro make the Marvel Legends, so there's no excuse for this level of articulation in a figure in 2021. Right, so what else do we have? Can't speak. It's all the complaining, my tongue stopped working. Right, okay, so let's have a look at these hands. So let's pop this out. You just pull the hands out. Not difficult to get out. So we will give him this wonderful Energon holding hand, which I do like. So, but that again, that overspray is really bothering me. I am gonna have to clean that up because it doesn't look very good. I have to say though, now that I've got that on there, the top piece doesn't bother me that much because you can't really see it. Unless I have it on a low shelf, which I may end up having to. You can't really see it from that sort of angle. So it's not as bad as I thought. Let's pop this one off and we will give him the Energon flail. It's quite heavy that actually, but he does seem to be able to keep his hand, or his arm rather, he does seem to be able to keep that up. So that's okay, that's pretty good. Let's hope that stays like that and it doesn't sort of become more loose over time. So yeah, yeah, interesting. This doesn't seem to be on correctly either. It seems to be pushing over to one side. I'll have to see if I can do something with that. It's not a huge thing, but yeah, all right. Let's bring in Siege Megatron, because that's the closest I've got at the moment, and obviously that's quite a bit bigger. But that was 24 quid and transforms, and that was 20 quid and doesn't transform, and has articulation give or take on par with this. So I think they're overpriced, honestly. I think these R.E.D figures are more expensive than they need to be. I think they could have sold these for 15. They could have, but it's Hasbro, so they want to get as much money out of us as possible for as little work as possible. And well, I will speak for myself and say that I'm a mug and I keep buying these things. So I said this year I was gonna be different. I was gonna concentrate more on third-party stuff, especially the Beast Wars stuff that's coming out. And I think once we've got through Kingdom, I'm gonna have to really stick to that, because I really do feel like Hasbro is taking advantage of collectors more and more every year. So, but that's another little gripe aside. So, overall, I do like it. Pardon me. And I think that's what bothers me. I like it. I think it could have been so much better though. If we'd have just got better articulation and better quality control. Yeah, like I said at the end of Optimus's review, we've got this group buy going for the Cheetor and Prime RC figures that should be out sometime this month. I'm hoping they'll have improved by then. We'll see. We'll see. But we'll cover those when we get them anyway. So I think that's about it for this one. I do have Soundwave to review as well, so he'll be the last in the list. Yeah, so I really don't know what else to say about this. I'm ever so slightly disappointed. I'm not like terribly disappointed. I'm not like Elita 1 levels of disappointed. I don't hate the figure anywhere near as much as I hated that thing. I think it's a decent figure. I like the sculpt. I just would have preferred more articulation and a little bit more attention to the details and the obvious QC issues. So. But yeah, so that's it. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Fingers on plastic.